The 15-Point Plan is part of the Win, Make, Give podcast network.
Welcome to the 15-Point Plan. Chad Himes sitting here across the studio from my lightweight co-host, Jillene Snell. Jillene, how are you today?
I'm laughing to start the episode.
That's good.
I mean, your adjectives that you come up with, they're getting more and more clever. Wow. There's sometimes a backstory to them, of course.
Well, yeah, and this one's just you lost a few pounds this week, right?
I did.
See? So that would make you a lightweight. Just because everybody out there's thinking that means you had one drink and fell down last night. That's got nothing to do with anything. I'm just bringing up that you have been losing weight, and gosh, the 15-Point Plan looks good on you, Jillene. That's all I'm saying.
Wow, thank you. Likewise.
Well, thank you. Hey, we're going to talk today about one of my favorite topics of all time, right? We are into time, which is our 15th point on the 15-Point Plan. And we are going to talk about time blocking. Now, everybody has a general understanding of what time blocking is, and so many different people have so many different ways to do it, right? One of the things Ben teaches, for example, is you need to leave half of your calendar blank for creativity and other moments like that to come along. You know, if I had a button here that went, bullshit, I'd be pushing it right now because I don't agree with Ben on this one. I completely disagree with Ben on this one. I think when you get to maybe Ben's level and Ben's position of what his job is, yes, he needs that. I'll come back and answer to it at the end.
You can cancel 50% of the things on your calendar when you have leverage for someone else to do the other 50%.
That's a completely different topic than what he's talking about. He does say, yes, every week he opens up his calendar and says, okay, we're going to cancel half of these things to open up for other things to show up. Okay, I got no problem with that. Except when I'm the one who gets canceled. I was supposed to meet with him this morning. Surprisingly, I got a text that said, we need to reschedule. I said, hey, I'm one of the 50% people.
This is a very raw and honest conversation we have on this podcast, right?
Amen. I am hurting inside right now. I was one of those people. Look, there are a lot of ways to do it. And all I can say on this episode, Jillene, I'm going to monopolize most of the conversation because I'm going to get on my soapbox and say, this is the way I teach people to do it. Okay. I've done this for the Win, Make, Give podcast. I've done this for teaching in classes. I do this with my coaching clients. And every time, even if they've gone through it before, when we refresh, they're like, oh my gosh, yes. And they feel so much better when they put their calendar together the right way.
Simplify it for us, because I think time blocking and time management is such an elusive thing for people. We're always chasing it, how to do it better or just how to do it, period.
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit about it.
Hopefully 50% of the audience today walks away from this and says, yes, that's the way I'm going to do it, Chad. I finally get it. And you can
I will let you know by the end of the episode.
There you go. Reach out. Let me know. Bob does it my way now because he finally got it. Now, why do we time block it all, Jillene? Because if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. So that's why we have to plan out this calendar. We have to have it laid out. We have to have it in front of us, okay? Now, the first thing I want people to understand is you get to be your own boss for about 15 minutes every week, and that's it. You don't get to be your own boss all week long. Your boss is your calendar. Now, you get those 15 minutes when you build your calendar. After that, you have to answer to the calendar. And that's one thing I want everyone to be really clear on. That's the way to have discipline in your life when you say, I'm not a disciplined person. That's the way to have structure to your life when you're saying, I like the fact that I'm all over the place. Okay, if you want to be efficient and you want to have success, you've got to come to the realization that you're not your own boss. I don't care if that means you're a teacher where there's actually a job. I don't care if that means you're a salesperson so you feel you build your own schedule. I don't care if that means you're a stay-at-home parent and you figure, well, I don't really have a job. Yes, you do. Take 15 minutes on a Sunday, plan out the week. I'm going to give you how you plan it out right now, and understand that that's going to put you in a power position of saying, I'm my boss for these 15 minutes, and then the rest of the week, I give up control.
I like that perspective.
Okay. Now, Jillene, there are a few rules that come before we start to even lay out the calendar.
Okay.
Rule number 1, you're not allowed to use the auto repeat for activities that are daily activities. This drives people crazy, and what do they always do? They want to make their life easy. I want to make my life so easy, I'm going to just click that auto repeat button. Great. That means 3 years and 4 days from today, you should be doing that thing still because your calendar says so.
Okay, so it's like a reoccurring item on your calendar. That would be like journal or whatever, meditate,
Yep.
something like that.
Can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Weekly or less frequent, yes, you can do. So if you have a meeting every week when we meet to get together and record podcast episodes, okay, that's allowed to show up. That way, when I open my calendar on Sunday, I already see those weekly appointments that I'm going to have to work around.
Sure.
Can't do the daily thing that just says go to the gym every day at 5 a.m. Check. No, because that's not going to happen because you didn't put it on your calendar. That's rule one. And if you use pen and paper for your calendar, it just means you can't draw arrows. Okay. Rule number 2, you can't double book. You're not allowed to put 2 things on your calendar at the same time. You can't do 2 things at the same time.
I did that for noon today. I told you that before this episode. I double booked.
And
yeah.
you can't do them both.
No.
You're going to be doing one or the other.
Right.
And what you're praying for is that we get done here quickly enough that you steal a few minutes to be able to get one of those 2 things done because you have 2 things on your calendar and you know going into the day, you're now going to fail because you can't do them both.
Well, it's because I didn't properly plan the day before.
There you go.
Time goes fast. You get to that moment. You're like, wow.
Yep. And
This
it'll happen
is
like
a
that.
problem right now that I have to find a very fast solution.
Third rule, color code your calendars. Okay?
I don't do that.
Color code your calendar. You get to choose the colors. Don't listen to anybody who tells you what color should be what. No, it's you. My favorite color is purple. Okay? Talked about this a few episodes, I think it was. My favorite color is purple.
You look good in purple, Chad.
Thank you. And because it's purple, my coaching calls are purple on my calendar, so it excites me to see them.
So, okay, I've got blue for business and
Okay.
pink for personal. So is
Okay.
that a version of color coding or
Yes.
do we take this a step further?
I would take it a little bit further, yet you don't have to. Just got to have some color code. I was going to say, blue is Nita's eye color. So blue for me represents time with my wife. So I can quickly look at my calendar when I need to, see that pop of blue and get that energy knowing there's time with Nita coming, right? I worked out at Orange Theory for a long time. I don't anymore, yet anything health related like that is orange on my calendar. So I can look at my calendar and I can quickly see, aha. I can see where those pops of color and that energy is going to come.
Okay.
That's the purpose of the color. Okay. Now, let's get to order of operations. And you might remember in math class, and I'm going to get it wrong, and they had one that was like PEMDAS or something like that, which was like the things in the parentheses and then the exponents and then division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. I think I just got it, right? I think PEDMAS was or PEMDAS. I don't remember if multiply came before divide. And it starts so many Facebook arguments because people get those math equations and they're like, no, you do the brackets before you do the, okay.
Of course.
So whatever it is, I'm going to give you an order of operations. And the word we're going to use is space. Now, for those of you out there who know, I wrote a book. Yay me, right? Plug the book, Chad. Okay, Achieve Your Apex, page 132.
I haven't reached that page yet.
You have not yet, I know, because you were like, I'm looking forward to hearing this one. Page 132 is really where I dive into this. I'm just going to give you the podcast episode version of it. And when here at the 15-point plan, we like to keep our time short. So I'm going to keep this as short as I can. So SPACE is our acronym. It starts with the S, which stands for Start Your Day. Now, Jillene, on our last episode, one of the first life hacks you gave us was have your how do you start your day morning ritual.
Yes.
Okay. What time do you start your day? That would be the first thing that should go on your calendar every day of choosing a wake up time. I'm not going to get into it. We have talked about sleep enough in the podcast, understanding our circadian rhythm, and that if you can start waking up at the same time every day, your body will start to do it automatically. My alarm is set for 4:10 just in case. I've not heard my alarm go off in months.
I'm raising my hand like teacher. I have a question.
Yes, go,
Okay,
Jillene.
you said do or do not put your start time in your calendar.
Absolutely.
Your
I
wake
wake
up time?
up at 6 a.m., 5
Okay.
a.m., 4 a.m., whatever time. Put
You
it there.
do put it in your calendar.
Wake up time and then whatever your morning routine is going to be.
Okay.
Okay, commit to it because it's got to be on your calendar. If you don't have a start of your day, what do? You just fall out of bed at some point? No. If you've got journaling is what you're going to do first thing because it's great, then wake up, get to your journaling because you know it takes you a few minutes to get up and get moving. Things don't have to be hour blocks on our calendar. They can be 5-minute blocks.
Or a minute, yeah.
Yeah, right. So start your day goes on the calendar so you see it. Okay. The second thing that goes on our calendar, Jillene, the P stands for promises. Now, promises are appointments you've made with other people, whether you've used the word promise or not. Okay. So by saying, hey, I will be there to get my hair cut, that's a promise. Hey, I will be at that doctor's appointment. That's a promise. Hey, Chad, I'll meet with you to record the podcast at this time. Great. That's a promise. You put these things on your calendar, the second thing that goes on your calendar.
Those are so easy for me to follow. I'll be there and I'll likely be on time.
Correct.
The issue is when it's something relating to me, like a time block with myself.
That's different.
I tend to let myself down so much faster than anyone else.
Yep. That's not a promise. A promise isn't an appointment with me. A promise is an appointment that involves somebody else.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Good.
And we have to put those on our calendar because we have to work around those because we have places we've committed to be. Some of them we can choose, like, hey, I want to set my doctor's appointment, or I want to set that checkup at the dentist, or I want to get my nails done, or whatever that promise is to someone else that I'll be there, okay? Some of them are told to us, like, hey, you have a meeting every week, Tuesday at 11 o'clock. You're expected to be at that meeting. Well, that's a promise that you have to be at that meeting because you took that opportunity.
Okay.
Okay? That's the second thing that goes on our calendar. The third thing that goes on our calendar are advancements. That's what the A stands for, advancement. Now, advancements are the things that move you forward in life. Figure out the areas of life. I talk about 4 different areas of life using the acronym LIFE. Love life, improving yourself, your fitness, and your economic world. But figure out what are the things that truly matter to you. Ben refers to these as your priorities, right? What are the priorities at work? What are the priorities in your relationship? What are your priorities at home?
Okay.
These go on your calendar next. If anything, these are the appointments
With yourself?
with yourself.
Okay, commitments
using
to yourself.
your words.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you've got to do these things to advance. Now, if you find you are regularly skipping out on some of these, that just means they're not truly priorities. That just means they really don't matter to you, or you haven't connected with the motivation that's behind them. Okay? Where you're saying, oh, I don't really want to make these calls. Oh, I don't really want to go into the gym. Oh, I don't really want to go on that date night with my partner. Whatever those things are, those things now are advancements in my life to strengthen my relationship, to succeed at business, to increase my health. If I'm not doing one or any of those things, it's because I haven't connected with the thing that motivates me to want to do it.
Smart.
Why does it matter to me? Okay. So the advancements go on our schedule next. The fourth thing, the C, stands for chaos. Now, again, you talked about this in our last episode when you were saying we don't want to fall into chaos.
Right. It's a good word for life because I think so many experience it.
Yes. Chaos is going to happen. So I plan it. Every day on my calendar, I have an hour scheduled for chaos. Now, I teach to put it in the afternoon, like 2 o'clock or later, because you need to give time for the day to show up and create that chaos.
So hold up. Wait a minute.
Uh-huh.
Did you just say you time block your chaos?
Yes.
You did?
I did.
Wow.
I time block chaos.
Okay.
Now, some of my coaching clients, for example, they have a half hour in the morning and a half hour later in the day. They can't do an hour at the end of the day because they need to be more flexible. They have more chaos that shows up from other people.
So what if we time blocked our entire day and it was maybe back-to-backs?
Yes.
And we did not time block chaos. What could happen?
Well, when chaos shows up, we're obviously losing time, right? It's those gotta minutes we talked about on our last episode. It's other kinds of chaos, and I'll break down the 2 types of chaos that are there for you that are going to steal your time if you haven't prepared for it.
I was thinking, too, the first thing to get compromised is the time blocks for advancements.
Yes.
When that chaos appears.
Correct.
If that chaos is not time blocked.
Correct.
Yeah.
So there's 2 types of chaos. There's controllable and uncontrollable chaos, Jillene.
Okay.
Controllable sounds like, got a minute? Controllable sounds like your phone just started ringing. Controllable sounds like mom, okay? That's controllable chaos because you can always deal with that when you want. You can move that. You don't have to answer a telephone. And there's so many people out there who say, no, I have to. I immediately have to answer my phone. It rings. It could be everything. And that's what people teach me sometimes, especially in the sales industries.
Right.
I'll tell them I could list off a dozen times you won't pick up your phone. You went to see a movie, you're at the theater, you didn't check your phone. You were at an appointment with another sales client. You didn't check your phone. Right? You were drinking with your buddies. You didn't check your phone. You were working out in the gym. Guess what? You didn't check your phone. Don't tell me you have to check your phone at every moment. You're just really saying, I don't want to do what's on my calendar, so I'm going to let my phone interrupt me.
That's a mic drop concept right there.
Yeah. Okay. So chaos can be controllable. That got a minute? Yes, I do. At 2:00, come on back. It's all controllable. And then we have that time block to deal with those things. The other kind of chaos is called uncontrollable chaos. Now, this is obvious by its title. We can't control this. This is, I got a flat tire. This is, hey, it's in the middle of our podcast recording time and there's a power failure at the building and we can't record. This is, the school called and said, your kid's sick, come get them.
I relate to that one.
Right? That you can't control that. You got to stop, drop, and roll and deal with it.
Right.
Okay. So you do. You stop, drop, deal with it. Because you have this block of time later, now you can say, what chaos just stole from me at 11 can get done at 2. And too many times, as you mentioned, Jillene, people will just allow whatever chaos that steals the time from to just never get done. It's on your calendar for a reason. You, as your own boss, said, this is important and something I need to do. Now, your boss is saying, it's got to get done. So by having chaos time on your calendar, you have a place that you can reblock that for.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's being the CEO of your own life by taking that action.
Correct. All right. Last letter is the E, and it bookends the S. The S was start your day. The E obviously would therefore be end your day. Now, end your day has 2 levels of ending your day. The first level is when do you stop working? Folks, stop working. You're allowed at some point to stop working. Okay? You can say, hey, at 5:00, because I have a punch the clock job, I stop working. You can say at 6:00, 7:00, 8:00. I don't care what time you choose. Yet there's a time where you stop working. And then the second part of ending your day is, and when do you actually go to sleep? You see, Jillene, we talked about this back in the sleep episodes well back earlier on. I believe one of the biggest challenges that people have is as soon as they moved out of their parents' home, they stopped having someone tell them when they had to go to sleep. And because of that, they've never respected a bedtime. They say, I'm a grown-up. I can stay up to whenever I want. I can do whatever I want. They become a hypocrite because they say to their kids, go to sleep. You need your sleep. Meanwhile, they stay up all night long to watch crappy Netflix shows for one more episode or do whatever or work until 1 a.m. because they're not efficient with their time during the day because they're not building their calendar.
Yes.
That's the only reason anyone's working at midnight is because you didn't efficiently do your day correctly.
I can attest to that because before I had kids, I treated time like a luxury.
Yep.
And I would spend 14 hours a day working sometimes.
Sure.
But it's because I wasn't as efficient during the day. I was like, hey, I've got the time.
Yep.
If I need to do this at 8:00, I can. And then all of a sudden you have, kids or other commitments in your life, responsibilities. And it really is about retraining yourself and your habits and rituals through following something like you're talking about with space. So do you talk about this in your book as well? Do you go through this entire plan in your book?
Break this all down for you right there in the book. So anybody can go, they can listen to the episode again. They can contact me directly. They can just go get their copy of the book and flip right to say, forget it. I don't want to read anything. I'm going right to page 132. That's where he starts talking about it. Okay. You have to have a bedtime because then you can reflect on when do you wake up the next day and make sure you're getting enough sleep. Because if your bedtime's 1 a.m. and you think you can wake up at 5:00, you know you're not going to be efficient, right? You're able to now look at that calendar by having that end of day and then having the start of day for the next day. Jillene, you got to sit down on a Saturday or a Sunday and you've got to plan out your week. The reason we do it is because in the heat of the moment, we make emotional decisions. At the beginning of the week, when we prepare this, we can make logical decisions and we can plan the week out properly following space. And then at the end of each day, I'll take 5 minutes and I will tweak tomorrow. I'll say, okay, what didn't get done? What had to get moved? What came up that has to change? Okay. The reason people have challenges is they either don't follow a system, they keep changing their system, they don't give it time to work, or they don't believe that they are important enough and therefore don't respect things like their advancements. They'll do the promises because they care about others. They're people pleasers. Yet they forget that the most important person to please, Jillene, would be
yourself.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Right? People pleasers, you have an advantage when you can finally remember you too are a people that you should be pleasing. And you should be at the top of your own food chain when it comes to putting together success. Okay? Space will help you fill your calendar top to bottom with the right things. And I'll finish it by saying this, Jillene. The white space that shows up on your calendar gets filled with white noise of life. Okay? Don't leave white space. What? But someone else told me to put thinking time and creative time and all that. Great. Then block it. Why can't you block off an hour that says, this is going to be my creative time? Go to the park, walk away from everybody, whatever it is you need to do. Folks, we will change your world when you understand using the life hacks we talked about last week, using the calendar system we talked about today, using the other tips we have coming for you on time on our next few episodes, because we're going to sit here for a while, because time is one worth talking about, because, as Jillene said earlier, we all get 24 hours in a day. We all get 1,440 minutes. The question is, do you use yours efficiently?
So
Folks,
good, Chad. Thank you so much for sharing.
Jillene, you going to change your schedule?
You know, yes. I think for me, it's the advancements. It's just respecting the priority that is relating to me and my priorities in life. And that is really the space, pun intended, that needs the most focus. So I'm definitely excited to run this. What do you call it? Order of operations.
Yep. Yep. Follow the order of operations, folks. You've got to put it on there in the right order so that you use your time efficiently. Don't double book and don't cheat by clicking auto repeat. All right, folks, we hope that this episode ups your energy and takes you to the next level.